So, looking for the technology. Thank you very much to the Mining Club for allowing me to talk today. Back. That is basically, the book that I have laboured over for last year. I got quite concerned about where Australia is going as far as energy is concerned, because if we don't have low-cost energy, we don't have too much else to go with it. So this has been one of my little projects for a year. So I'll give you a little bit of a flavour of what's involved. As Graham said, sorry. Is it okay? Sorry, thank you. I didn't notice it. Sorry about that. As Graham said, I launched a number of books previously. They were all on prostate cancer, as a prostate cancer survivor. And we did the one on nearest to me here a month before COVID struck. Instead of selling 10 or 20,000 copies worldwide, it still became a bestseller, but it was a far, far less amount because my prostate support groups all disappeared because of COVID. I had a database of 1,000. So I decided now to move on to something else. The back cover of the book gives a couple of quotes from industry experts. The first one is Paul Broad. I call him Paul B there, and he says it's just not impossible. It is impossible as far as what is being done to meet the governmental targets. By the way, I don't bucket the government because I think their plan overall is reasonably sound. The time frame is impossible. That's the issue involved in this whole situation. And there are a few comments from others that I put in front of you. The book is covers every aspect of energy in Australia. We look at the present energy grid, we look at coal, gas, we looked at hydro and pumped hydro. I've got a chapter on pumped hydro, and mainly focused on Snowy and the Genex project. We look at the energy, the EV market, which is very important. I also look at the critical minerals. There's 30 pages on critical minerals. I also talk about the hydrogen economy that everybody's talked about. And then I spend 6 chapters talking about nuclear. I had the privilege of working in the nuclear industry for a year, some years ago. And by the way, my background is that of a technocrat. I worked 45 years in technologies over A to Z and so forth, but I've been retired for a few years. And the third last chapter is, can we keep the lights on? I do a critical analysis state by state as far as whether we will keep the lights on. And 2 states are quite vulnerable, in my view, as far as that's concerned. Types of things that are in the book. There's a critical minerals criticality analysis, big word, and I try to illustrate by the depth of colour the vulnerability we have as far as the availability of enough raw material or commodities to go into the battery production situation. And I suggest that graphite is the most critical, followed by manganese and so forth. I think nickel we seem to be pretty well okay. But just to close off, the book queries that these types of things. Will Toyota's solid-state batteries, which are going to come into play in 2026 with a whole new range of vehicles, how will that affect the lithium demand? Big question mark. And what's happening in that solid-state battery development program is absolutely, it's top secret. So that's something to look forward to. The other issue is, how are we going to install 600 million solar panels? That's 250 new ones, and then we've got the replacement market because they won't last till 2050. It's impossible to install the number. And then somebody raised to me yesterday after my golf match, he said, how are we going to recycle all that stuff? Unbelievable project. And of course, the poles and wires, we've got a few people from country towns here today, and they all probably have seen the poles and wires debate developing in these renewable energy zones that the government are proposing. And the book also is bold enough to say, how can we build nuclear plants on time and on budget? Because the world has not had a good record. But I've looked closely at the ones that have done a good job, and I've determined what they've done to try and achieve that. So that's covered in the book as well. The book is $35 a head, and I'll be next to the AEST stand once the speakers have concluded, and I'll be happy to. I have only limited copies available at the moment because my bulk printing hasn't arrived, so I had to improvise in the meantime. So looking forward to talking to you at that time. And thank you again, the Sydney Mining Club. Thank you very much.